Hey there, everyone, and welcome to Live Simply with Natalie P. My name is Natalie Pickett, and I'm so happy that you have come back or that this is your first time here. Either way, welcome, welcome, welcome. Simply, spelled SEMPLY, stands for spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically loving you. And the whole goal of Simply is to help you to live a purposeful life intentionally while honoring God and taking care of all the things that make you who you are, your relationship with God, your emotions, your mindset, as well as taking care of your physical body. So, yeah, that's why we're here. So, it is Thursday, Friday Junior, whatever you want to call it. And that means that it is time to dig in deeper into the topic that I introduced on Monday on the blog, which was self-compassion. Now, I'm not sure how much of a series this is going to be, or if we're going to dig deep like we did with dropping all those F-bombs, but this definitely needs to be discussed and talked about, and I'm so excited. I'm working through it, and so why not help others work through it as well? So it all started maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, and I sat for a minute and reflected for a minute and realized, like, man, since June 2024, a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened to me, both physically. If you read the blog, I mentioned my neck injury, which turned into like a nerve injury, all the things. Doing better, but also emotionally lost a very close family member, more like a sister, my cousin who lived with us since I was in third grade. Yeah, just transitions when it comes to my profession, just a lot of different things. But you know how it is. We are, most of us are, in a sense, conditioned, I guess, even when things are going on, to keep going. And honestly, sometimes we have to. We have to keep going. We have families to take care of. We have jobs that we have to go to. We have things that we need to do. But I just realized, I was like, you know what, though? I realized, thinking about that, I was like, oh man, I didn't realize that all those things were happening pretty much to like all at the same time and overlapping in time. And even as those things were happening, I was quite, I think because I expected to get more done with certain things that I wanted to do as it related to my purpose, that I was critical with myself, impatient, and just super hard on myself, not really taking into account all the things that I had been dealing with, right? And so, as I mentioned on the blog, I was like, I'm gonna say Holy Spirit. He was like, yo, remember that book you had? You had that book on self-compassion. You need to go get it off your bookshelf. And you know what? The devil tried it because I couldn't find that book for nothing. It was right there the whole time. Okay, we can't blame everything on the devil. Like it's just my eyes, as you get older. But it was sitting there on the shelf. I could not like find it like for the longest time. But I found it and I began reading it. And I said, okay, this book is so good. It has a lot of good information, a lot of different exercises. And it's not really my product review for today, but here's the book. It's called Self-Compassion, the Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself. And it is by Kristen Neff, PhD, because you want to give, credit where credit is due. But she really goes into how we need to truly show ourselves self-compassion. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's time out for like treating myself, and for you to time out for treating yourself like you're your own enemy. Like stop treating yourself like that and start treating yourself, and I'm gonna start treating myself the way that God does. And He loves us, right? No matter what we're going through. So we're gonna talk some more about self-compassion now that I've been all transparent. No, I'm joking, but that's important to be transparent at times, right? Yes, it is. But let's just talk about what self-compassion is. So got my show notes here. So I love to make sure that I'm sharing everything. And sometimes we need notes. We need notes to make sure we're sharing all the things. But self-compassion, as I mentioned, it's about treating yourself with the same kindness, the same grace, the same patience that you would someone you love, or like, you would your bestie. It's about recognizing that you're human, you make mistakes, and you're still worthy of love and understanding. So according to Kristen Neff, the author, of self-compassion. She's a researcher on this topic, has a great website, lots of resources there. But there's three core components of self-compassion, and they are self-kindness, which is being gentle and understanding with yourself instead of being harsh and judgmental. Common humanity, which is recognizing that everyone, even you, make mistakes and experience pain. And there's also mindfulness, being present with your emotions without ignoring or exaggerating them. And that's important. And self-compassion, it doesn't mean now I love this part right here. I mean, I love all of it, but this part is really good. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses or avoiding accountability. It means acknowledging where you are and giving yourself permission to be a work in progress. And we know sometimes that takes long, but we're not giving ourselves 3,500 years to be a work in progress. That was for someone. Yeah, I'll just stop right there. But self-compassion, though, it can be hard. It can be really hard. For many, like I said, it feels foreign to us because we've been conditioned to believe not only to keep going and like ignore our feelings or what we're dealing with, but we've also been conditioned to believe like that perfection equals worthiness. So if we're not perfect, we're failing. Talking about, hey, taking us back to our F-bomb that we dropped on failure. We're also conditioned to believe, many of us, I'm not saying all of us, but many of us are conditioned to believe that criticism equals motivation. So we think like being hard on ourselves will push us to do better. Now, for maybe 1-2% of people, it does. But yeah, for the majority, it's not the best route to take at all. We also believe that self-sacrifice equals strength. So we pour out for others, but leave ourselves empty. Like that's like we're showing that we're strong that way. The truth is none of this works or works well. It may work for like a little bit, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work well. Being hard on yourself doesn't make you better. It makes you bitter. It makes you exhausted. Oh, hello, F-bomb fatigue, and disconnected from grace. We do not need to be disconnected from grace. Like what? No, no. I shared a scripture in the blog, Psalm 103, verses 13 through 14, and it says, as a father has compassion for his children, so the Lord has compassion for those who fear him. For he knows how we are formed. He remembers that we are dust. So just like a biological dad or mom, grandmother, auntie, caregiver, guardian has compassion for those that they care for, God has the same for us. He knows that we're human. He knows that we are made from dust. We are not perfect. And so because God knows that we're human, he knows that we're going to mess up. He's already made room for it. He knows what's going to happen in our life that may take us off track because we need to deal with other things. But he's made room. He's given us grace, and we should give ourselves grace as well. So when we lack self-compassion, we don't practice this. And I will encourage you to look it up and get the book and be in prayer as you're reading, the book and things of that, things like that. Definitely be in prayer. But really make it a practice. We have to practice self-compassion because, we're almost like conditioned, honestly, it's just innate for us to just judge ourselves harshly when we make a mistake or we don't, do something in a certain amount of time, or talk critically to ourselves when we do something wrong. So we want to make sure that we're practicing self-compassion, because when we don't, it takes a toll on our emotions, our mindset, our spirituality, our relationship with God, and our relations, which is pretty much what Simply is all about. We can't live simply if we don't have self-compassion. That's what it is. But let's look a bit more at how when we lack self-compassion, what it does to our emotions. We're constantly, emotionally, we're constantly battling shame, guilt, self-criticism. Mentally, our mind stays stuck on everything we've done wrong instead of what's possible. It makes it very hard for us to be solution minded. Spiritually, we feel disconnected from God, his love, believing that he is as hard on us as we are. So a lot of times, and I remember hearing this one time, reading it in a book, I believe that sometimes, say for example, our biological parent or family member was very hard on us, or in a nutshell, I'm not going to even go dig deep into it, but in a nutshell, some of us equate God and how he treats us to how our biological family member family member, guardian, parents treated us. So if they treated us mean, or when every time we did something wrong, they were saying, how could you? You're dumb. What are you doing? Then we see God as the same way, and He's absolutely not. He's not. So that's definitely one thing that we want to make sure that we are working on, why we need to practice self-compassion. But spiritually, I'm just going to repeat it again, that we feel disconnected from His love, and we believe it's hard, that He's as hard on us as we are. Relationally, if we're hard on ourselves, it's easy to project that on others. So really, without self-compassion, we block the very grace God is trying to extend to us. Y'all think I'm being real serious today? I feel a little seriousness on me. I mean, I'm always serious, but usually I'm a bit more, But no, it's all good. I have different sides of me. 97% of the time, I'm very bubbly, joyful, energetic, and I think I am now, but I'm just being a bit more serious. I mean, this is serious stuff, self-compassion. Not to say all the other stuff wasn't, but anyway, roll with me. Okay, so we definitely need to have I'm saying we because we're all, well, hope at least one other person is probably working on this with me. So we need to have strategies to start practicing self-compassion. So we know what it is now. If not, please rewind, take notes. These are also intended for you to take notes and to like listen again and again, like get your notes out. But yeah, so we know what it is, why it matters. So let's talk about how to actually practice it. Okay. So the first thing, you need to acknowledge what you've been going through. So stop minimizing your experiences, or, take a moment to recognize, to reflect, and recognize the challenges you face, and give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling. Like, feel what you're feeling. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm frustrated. Like, give yourself permission to do that. Now, I will not say do it forever, but give yourself grace and permission to do that. We are human. We have been given feelings. Yes. The next thing, talk to yourself like you would a friend, someone that you care about. So, maybe you're going through a situation right now, right? Or and if a friend came to you with that same situation or struggle that you're dealing with right now, how would you respond? More than likely, you're going to respond in a very kind manner. You're going to show them grace. You're going to empathize with them. You're going to, possibly give them a hug, give them encouraging words. Like, you want to do the same thing to yourself. I often wonder, like, how are we so, like, when people that we know are like going through things, experiencing things, like we can like immediately like show them compassion. But when it comes to ourselves, we are sometimes the worst critics, the worst judges of ourselves. So you want to talk to yourself like you would a friend. Also, practice mindful reflection. So instead of dwelling on mistakes, reflect on what happened, like I said earlier, with grace, and have a desire to grow. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? So as you're acknowledging what you've been through. I'm going back to step one, because you want to acknowledge what you've been through. You want to leave room to feel those feelings. But then after that, you do want to do something after. Like I said, you don't want to sit in those feelings forever, but you want to reflect and ask yourself, what can you learn from it? The next thing you want to do is to give yourself permission to rest. Oh, hello. Once again, dropping another F-bomb fatigue. Don't you love these connections? I do. Give yourself permission to rest and reset. So rest isn't earned, it's necessary. Now I wrote these notes, but now sometimes it's like, look at that. Rest isn't earned, it's necessary. Now, we talked about that last week on the vlog with fatigue. I shared with you a book that you need to get about 7 types of rest. But yes, I think many of us, I never want to say all of us, and if I do, I don't intend it just kind of comes out, but many of us have once again believe that, you earn rest. Like, oh, when I do, all the things, when I've worked for 20 hours, for 4 hours a day, I can rest, right? A lot of us have that mentality or that mindset, but no, you need to give yourself space to pause, to breathe, and to reset. And finally, you want to lean into God's compassion. So spend time in his word and let his truth remind you that you are loved, seen, and you are enough. One scripture that talks about his compassions, you may have heard it. If not, that's okay. I want to share it with you. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 through 23. The NIV version says, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. We are not overwhelmed. We are not overtaken, but his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. So God, every morning, God is giving us new compassion. He's giving us brand new compassion because he knows that we're human and every day is going to lend itself to making a mistake or messing up or not doing the right thing. And so his compassions are new every morning. So I'm going to encourage you that your self-compassion should also be new every morning. Great is God's faithfulness. So yeah, so you're probably like, well, definitely after we've done all this, we know there are benefits to self-compassion. There are, you want to change the game. How can self-compassion change the game in your life? Let's talk about that for a minute. So as you practice self-compassion, as you begin to, realize it's not just about feeling better, but we want to make sure that we are changing how we think about ourselves and how we speak to ourselves and how we give ourselves grace. What you're going to find is that after a while, you will have emotional resilience. You'll bounce back faster because you're not stuck in a cycle of self-blame. Man, I mean, think about it. When you blame yourself constantly, all the time, that's very draining emotionally. But when you learn to practice self-compassion, to sit in your feelings, to reflect and find out what you have learned from that, you can bounce back and it stops that cycle so you can move forward a bit quicker. Greater self-confidence or greater confidence in general, you stop questioning your worth and start stepping into what God has for you. Healthier relationships, when you extend grace to others, it's going to begin to naturally flow into how you treat others. Now, because let's be real, we can extend grace to others and still not extend grace to ourselves. But we want to be at a place where we have a healthy relationship, not only with others, but with ourselves as well. And just as we extend grace to ourselves, we're going to do so, and it's going to flow to that with others, treating others that same way. Deeper connection with God. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to stop running from him in shame because many of us, oh, that's good. If you are like, I can't pray, I can't read the word because the word, not the world. I can't, pray. I can't read the word. I can't go to church. I can't, connect with this group as they study the Bible. If you're feeling that you're running from those things, you desire it, you feel God drawing you to it, but you are stuck in a place of shame, that's the enemy. He wants to keep you trapped in shame. God has come so that we can be redeemed and restored from all of that. So start leaning in on his love and know that he is not the one that is going to keep you in the shame box. No, he wants you to step out to break free and to move forward. So when you give yourself grace, you make room for God's grace to work in you. I love it. So yes, that's what I have today on self-compassion. I'm not sure if I will blog and get a bit deeper into it or talk about some more components of it. I mean, probably, but I'm not sure how long it'll last. But hope this helped you. Hope this helped you. We do have to do our product review for today. Actually, guess you had a double product review. Definitely the book, Self-Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself by Kristen Neff. And she also has another one. I have it, and I forget the title of it, but she does have another one as well. But I know in the second book that she has, she does suggest reading this one first. So read this first. But I also have another product for you. Da, 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 da. Poppi. Poppi. I'm gonna get this together, y'all. I'm learning. It's also my ring light getting in the way. But Poppi, I think it's short for soda pop. Even though I'm from Philly, we do not call pop. We do not do that. But I like the name Poppi. It's soda. But Poppi is a modern soda. It gives you all the flavor, but none of the baggage that soda brings, right? So each can, this is great flavor, and it's good. It is good. Each can has prebiotics, that keeps your gut happy. So definitely that's a plus. It also each can has apple cider vinegar for extra zing that we need, that our gut needs as well. This is really it's really a soda all about gut love. I'm here for it. Only 5 grams of sugar because soda doesn't need to be sugar overload to taste amazing. And this, I can preach to that when it comes, I can speak to that. Yes, that's true. And also, there are 35 calories or less. So, perfect sidekick. So, if you're like, oh, I really want a soda-ish drink, but I also want tacos, pizza, and/or spaghetti for dinner, like just get a Poppi. You can have it all. You can have it all, y'all know. But yeah, so seriously, Poppi gives you the soda vibes without the guilt. So yes, this one is great. I know they have other flavors. You should go on their website. The stores have them though, like your grocery stores. But we're not shopping at Target now, so do not go there to get Poppi until they get themselves all the way together. However, your other local grocery store should have it, and they have different flavors. So give it a try. And yeah, that's the product review for today. Poppi, try it. Hope you like it. And yeah, that's it for the day. Just make sure as we think about self-compassion and we look into that we are remembering it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not something you practice once and master overnight. You've heard this saying before, like, it takes you so many months or years to learn a bad habit or things that aren't well for you. It's going to take you that same time to learn things that are good for you. We're believing God that we will hold on, grip onto it quickly, quickly. But yeah, don't expect yourself to master it overnight. Once again, that's another, be kind to yourself. So, you can't be like, man, I've been practicing this self-compassion for one day and Natalie, you just can't get it together. Like, no, that's exactly what we're trying not to do, right? So show yourself grace. So be patient with yourself, extend grace when you need it, and remember, God already does. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in for Live Simply with Natalie P. And remember to love yourself from the inside out. Until next time, bye.